Hey y'all, today it is cold and we are making some yummy beef stew. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is get your veggies prepped. Now, personally, for me, I don't put potatoes in my beef stew because I serve them over mashed potatoes. And then I also don't use, I know a lot of people put like peas in their beef stew. I don't do that. My kids were never huge fans of peas when they were growing up. So, it's kind of one of those recipes that you just make it fit what your family likes. You can cook it however you want to cook it. You can put whatever you want to in there. That's one of the best things about soups and stuff. You can kind of make it your own and, figure it out. So, but this is just how I make mine. So if you make yours different, great. Let me know about it in the comments. Maybe I'll try your version. But this is just the way my kids liked it when they were growing up. So this is the way I've always done it. So I used one onion, diced up one onion. And y'all know I would have had a bigger onion, but that was the only one I had left. So I just diced it up. And then I took just whatever little carrots I had left in there. You can use baby carrots if you want to. But I just had this pack of carrots. And this is just how many I used. Now, if you like a whole lot more carrot, you can use a whole lot more carrots. If you don't like as many carrots in yours, then you certainly don't have to add them. And you can add potatoes and peas to yours if that's what you like in yours. Just do it however you want to. So once I get my carrots all peeled up, I'm going to go ahead and dice them up. And I try to get the pieces kind of even, and that way they'll cook even. But I let mine cook a while, so even if I had a bigger piece of carrot in there, they're still going to get done. So I don't worry too much about it. I'm not, not stressing over the size of my carrots. So once you get that all done, set it to the side, and then you're going to need some stew meat. Now I had this pack of lean stew meat. It was probably, I think maybe 1.5 pounds or so. And I'm going to put a little bit of oil in my Dutch oven, and then I'm going to go ahead and brown this meat. Now you don't have to cook it all the way because we're going to let it, cook in the stew, but I just like to get it all browned up, give it a little head start, and I just add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to mine. I'm not going to overly season this because we're going to add some things in a minute, to, add to it. I said that, didn't I? I don't even know look, English is hard sometimes, y'all. The English language just does me dirty sometimes. But anyway, so go ahead and just brown your meat up. Once your meat is all good and browned, go ahead and take it out of your pot. And then we are going to just set it to the side, set it over to the side, and then add your onion to your pot. And we're going to let the onions cook down until they're soft, until they're translucent. You know what I'm saying, just a few minutes. Once your onions get pretty well done, you're going to drop in about 3 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt, and then we're going to make a roux. So once your butter's melted, add in about 1/4 cup of flour and mix that. Just mix it constantly so your flour doesn't burn, but you want to get that all good and mixed in, and then we're going to let that cook for a couple of minutes until we just get that raw flour cooked out, because it is a stew, not necessarily just a soup, so we want it to be a little bit thicker. So now I'm going to add in some beef broth, and of course you can use your homemade beef broth if you have it, or beef stock, or whatever, bouillon and some hot water, whatever you've got, use whatever you have. I'm going to use 4 cups. Now I just add mine a little bit at a time, let that, let it thicken up, and then add a little bit more. You know how you do a gravy. And then, but like I said, I added 4 cups to mine. You don't have to add all 4 cups if you want yours thicker. I do like mine, while it is more of a hearty thing because it's a stew, not necessarily a thin soup, I do like juice with mine. So I add the whole 4 cups, but you don't have to if you don't want yours that thin. You're going to see, you saw the picture of mine. You'll see it again in a minute. If you want yours thinner, add a little more. If you want it thicker, don't add quite as much. It's very, very easy to make this exactly how you want it. There's not really any exact measurements in here. Most of the recipes that I make that are my recipes, I don't know that I've ever measured anything. I measure it and put measurements for y'all because I know you know, if people are looking at a recipe, you want to know how much of whatever. But honestly, half the time I'm guessing because I have no clue how much of stuff I put into I put into recipes sometimes. But you know, I do it for y'all. I try to make it easy. So once I get my broth all added, I'm going to add in 1 pack of onion soup mix and 1 pack of beef stew seasoning. Okay. Now, this is another thing. You can add whatever you want. You know, there's a lot of different kinds of the onion soup mix. Like there's like beefy onion and I don't know what all the kinds are, but there are different ones. You can use whatever flavored ones that you like. So I just add those in there, mix them up real good. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. This cold weather's got me about half crazy down here. All right. So once you get your seasonings mixed in, go ahead and add your meat back in. Now remember, we didn't cook this completely all the way. So you may see a little bit of, you know, not quite cooked drippings coming off that plate, but put them back in there anyway, because we're going to let this cook down and everything's going to be nice and yummy. So I went ahead, let mine come up to a boil, and then I put the lid on mine and just let it kind of hang out for about, I cut the fire down just a little bit and just kind of let it hang out for about 15 minutes. Just to get that meat flavor cooked back in there, I guess. I don't know. That's just the way I do it, y'all. So once I've let it cook for a few minutes, and you can see what the consistency of mine is right here. And if you had if your beef was really fatty, you may end up with a little layer of grease kind of on top of your stew there. And if you can't, just kind of skim that off. Take a little paper towel, run it real easy across the top and take that off if you need to. But yeah, just a tip, because I have had that happen when I've had a meat that had a lot of fat in it. So anyway, once you get all that added back in, let it boil for a little bit. We're going to add the carrots in. That's the last thing I do. And then I'm just going to mix it up. I'm going to let it come back to a boil, and I'm going to let it boil for about 5-10 minutes, something like that. I don't really time it. And then I'm going to cover it back up, and then I'm going to let it just kind of hang out on a simmer, turn it down on low, let it simmer for about an hour, at least an hour. The longer you cook it, the better it's going to taste. And we don't want crunchy carrots. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is how I do mine, y'all. It is so dang good. Perfect for weather the way it's been. Like, I don't know what's going on with this weather. Where are y'all at? Because I'm in South Louisiana. It is 19 degrees here. What in the world? We don't know how to act in that kind of weather. I can't even leave my house. I don't know what to do. Anyway, all right. Y'all make y'all some beef stew to get you through some of these cold days. And this does freeze good too. So just FYI. All right. That is all I've got for y'all today. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.